welcome back to LearnDeutsch. Today we are going to review our first German learning book, and this one will be the first one. It's called the Everything Learning German book by Edward Zwick. And I have personally worked with this book in my classroom before. It was the first book that I've ever used in my class, and I just wanted to give you my opinion about it and see what you guys think, and maybe this will be a book that you guys like to purchase, or if this book even is a book that you need to purchase. I'm hoping to really answer that question and like getting into it and seeing if you can make the decision for yourself. Is this the book that you need to get or not? I forgot to kind of check how much this was on Amazon. I do believe that it was a fairly cheap book. I was under $20 at least. I almost want to say that I paid maybe $15.99 for it. The MSRP on here, it says, is $19.95. I'm pretty sure I didn't pay that much, but I will definitely put the price below. Okay, so to the first category, my first category is this book written in English or in German? Doesn't necessarily seem important to some people, but depending on what you're going to use your book for, it is important if it is written in English or in German. And we'll get to that if we go to the next category. For example, the next category is it appropriate as a self-learning book? So self-learning meaning not with a teacher, not in a classroom experience. Can I take this book and can I learn with this book by myself? And the answer to this one is absolutely yes. This is actually a really good self-learning book. Hence, written in English. So if it is written in English, you're an English person trying to learn German, this is a book to go for. You can definitely work through it with yourself without having any issues really understanding what it is, because it is written in English, so hooray. So for that category, I do have a score system as well, 0 out of 5. I will give this a 5 for, is it appropriate for self-learners? 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. It is definitely a 5. It is absolutely a self-learning book. All right, category number 3 is, does it have exercises? This book being a self-learning book, it should definitely have some exercises in it, and this one absolutely does. The only problem that I have with it that the exercises can be very, very short. It usually ranges between, I want to say 10 and 15 exercises. So if we look at it's not the very first one, but for example, we have everything explained, and then the exercise will be on this page right here. And in this case, for example, we only have 10 samples or 10 exercises to practice what we just learned. So I kind of want to give it a 3 here because it does have practices, it does have exercises, but there's not very many, so it's kind of in the middle for me, so I'm giving it a 3. Category number 4 is, does it have pronunciation exercises, or does it have a CD to practice pronunciation with? And I can answer that question with one word. Yes, it does have an audio CD. Now, the quality of that audio CD, I gave that a score of a 3 out of 5. It does sound like the CD is from at least a near native person. The pronunciation is very good. It does sound like it is coming from a native German. So for pronunciation, kind of mimicking, it's pretty good. It doesn't have specific pronunciation practices. There is some in the beginning of the book, and it will kind of help you out to make the sounds. But even the phonetics that they're using here they're very, I find them very American. So if we're looking right here in I always get this wrong, the name wrong, in parentheses, you can see that it does have a couple of, it does have some pronunciation help, so it does kind of help out, but I still would only give it like a 3 out of a 5 for the audio CD because it's very limited. Not everything has an audio, and it's organized by track. It is easy to find the tracks on the CD, so that's why I'm saying it is a 3 out of a 5. So yeah, it does have a CD. CD is okay. All right, number 5 of the of my I think it's an overall of like kind of 10 categories, but 9 scores. The next one is also a score. Does it have pictures? Does the book have pictures to the words? because we all know now that pictures and words are really good together. This book unfortunately has absolutely no pictures. As you can see, there's no drawings, no pictures, nothing. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 0 out of a 5 because there's nothing, no pictures. All right, number 6 is grammar. Is it explained well? This book is fabulous when it comes to explaining grammar. Every single grammar question that you might have is in here. I do want to give this a 5 out of a 5 for grammar explanation because it goes into very good detail. It explains things very, very well, and so it does deserve a 5 in this category. Number 7 is context. Does it put words into context? Does it kind of make sense? Do you, get cohesive sentences and all that kind of stuff? I gave it an overall score for 3. The problem that I have with this book is that I feel like it does not put things into too much context. So even though you are learning a little bit of, phrases and words, and a little bit of context is very basic, and it's not real. There's not really like situations. There's no exercises for practicing that. So for me, it's only a 3. It does put it a little bit into context, but it's just not enough for me. Number 8, conversation skills. Does it teach you conversation skills? And again, here I would really like to give it a 1. So the conversation skill teaching of this book is very poor. I think it is very poor. As a teacher, using it in a classroom, you can make your own conversation exercises with this, but it itself does not have very many. There's no role plays. There's no there's not very many dialogues. There's a couple of things every now and again where you do get kind of get like, oh, how do you say blah 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 blah. It also says it kind of on the back, learn how to order food or something like that. So it does have very, very basic phrases. For me, being a book this thick, I would want to be more proficient in German and would have learned a lot more than just basics like touristy things. So overall, for me, for the communication score, it is only a 1. The conversation, not the communication. The conversation score is really just a 1. It's very bad. I don't really like it. I think it's not good. All right, category number 9 is extras. Does this book come with any extras? The only extra that it has is a CD. So for me, that would be a number 2. The score here would be a number 2. All right, so we're kind of already at the end of this. So my overall score that I came up with is 22 out of 40. So the possible scores that that the book can get for each category that has scores is unfortunately only 22 out of 40. So what does it mean for the book itself? Is it a bad book? Is it a good book? What would you say? I would actually say it is a pretty good book. The only problem with this book is it is very grammar heavy. It is a wonderful Nachschlagewerk, which I don't know what that means in English. It's a good book to explain grammar. So if you are struggling with understanding certain things in German, if you are having problems in your class even, I think this is a very good supportive book. It is a self-learning book, so it is very good for that. It's written in English, easy to understand. It explains things very well. I think it gives you a really good idea of German grammar. However, if your goal is to communicate properly and to learn phrases and how to communicate and how to express yourself, this is unfortunately not the right book. I think it is a very good addition to a good language learning book, but I don't think it is the one to use as a self-learning book. Okay guys, so this is my first review video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you have any questions about it, if you want any more details, let me know. And make sure you subscribe. So you won't miss the next video that is hopefully coming sooner than later. Alright, have a good day. Bye!